I've got my Dr. Pepper here in my coffee cup because I ran out of coffee. And I'm going to give you guys a haul of what I got today. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what I got at the thrift store today. I had to cut myself off and leave because I was like, I didn't really spend that much. I didn't even spend $40, but there was so much nice stuff in there. I have not been in there in a while, and there was so much nice stuff, and so I had to cut myself off because I was going to spend way too much money. But I'm going to show you guys the haul. So first of all, I got this beautiful tray. I love the ornate details and the colors on this tray. It's just like a tin tray. It was on the 50% off rack, so why not? It says it was made in England, and then it has the designer name back here. You probably can't see that. But my mom was talking about how she recently bought a tray from an estate sale that we went to, and she was talking about how in Leave It to Beaver, June Cleaver will put out a tray at the end of the evening with like a coffee pot and some pretty little teacups, and her and Ward have coffee at the end of each evening, which I think is a really sweet idea. So I thought this would be cute to put like a coffee pot and teacups on at some point. I have a couple of trays, and I used to collect them years ago, and I had to put a halt on it because that was when I was living at home and I had nowhere to put any more trays. So I think I got rid of a couple of them. I still have at least 2 of them, and I'm going to add this one to the collection. If I don't do anything other than just stick this on a wall somewhere, I think it's still beautiful. So it was originally $3.95 and I got it for 50% off. So that's a win in my book. Okay, next up I got a cheese grater. And the reason that I got a cheese grater is because my husband was cooking something the other day. I don't remember what it was that he was cooking, but he was cooking something and he needed to grate something. And see, I have this grater, but it's like a one-sided thing. And I think it's big like this. It's just a one-sided thing. And I was like, we don't really have a cheese grater. I have this, and I pulled out what I had, and he's like, we don't have a cheese grater. How do we not have a cheese grater? So when I saw this, I picked it up. It was only $1.50, and it's got like the 4-sided with the different size graters on it, and then it has like the hollow spots so all the stuff can fall through. So I picked that up because we needed it. Purely because we needed it, and that is probably about the only practical thing in here. It was the first thing that I picked up in the thrift store, and I just think it's pretty. It's this beautiful little, I don't know what you even call this. It's got like a butterfly in it. It's just so pretty to do like vignettes around your house. I don't know. It's like not a terrarium, maybe a terrarium. I don't know. I just think it's super pretty, and I'm gonna put it up on the shelf over my couch because the colors in this perfectly match the color of the print on the wall. And so I'm gonna put this up there because I've been looking for something to replace the springy flowers that I had up there. And this will work for pretty much all seasons, I feel like, except for maybe Christmas. So I really like this, and it was only $1.95. In fact, no, it wasn't in the 50% off. It was $1.95. What's next? Oh, I got this. Lord knows I do not need another coffee mug, but this is like such a vintage looking Nestle hot chocolate mug. One side says hot cocoa and the other side says rich and creamy. if you can see that. Let me take the sticker off of it. It was $1.95. And like I said, not that I need any more mugs because I have way too many mugs, but I just loved it. And I thought it was so interesting and so unique and vintage looking. So I got it. Okay. Then I was very excited to find these copper jello molds. Now, I don't think I've talked about this on YouTube. I have talked about it on Instagram, but I have started a wall in my kitchen with copper jello molds. I have been inspired by the Parisian farm girl, and she has a whole wall, I believe in like her connecting dining room, of copper jello molds. And she has the best collection. Like she has like a chicken and a cow, and I think she might have a cat even. Like I've never seen that. So I've just been gradually collecting them. And now the difference in these, they had a bunch of them at the thrift store. But the thing is, some of these do not look copper colored. Some of them look almost silver. Some of them look very, very pale rose gold. And I don't have to have them all be the exact same shade of copper, but I want them to have that copper look. I don't want them to look like they're all brand new or all rose gold or something. So these two are pretty perfectly copper colored. They were 95 cents each. They all have little hooks so that you can hang them. I'm not gonna make a jello mold. I just think they're pretty and I wanna put them on the wall above my stove. So I already have two. And these two are different than the ones that I already have. And then I got this one, which is a heart, and I need to scrape the stickers off of it. But this one, it looks more copper on camera, but in true to life, it's not quite as orangey copper as the other two, but it still has a very copper look. Again, has the little hook to hang it, and it was heart shaped. And I have been looking for ones that are like really unique shapes and stuff. Right now I have like I'll show you because I don't know how to describe it, but I have two really cute ones on the wall, and now I've got these. So I was super excited about that. Like I said, they had other ones, but they weren't the right shades. They just would not have looked cohesive on the wall, and it would have bugged me. So I didn't buy those. So next up, we have a couple of vintage linens. Now, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these because I can't wash them, so I can't use them like towels or anything. And I don't even know what they were supposed to be. I don't know if they were supposed to be like pocket handkerchiefs or if they were supposed to be like decorative towels. I don't know, but they are the sweetest things I've ever seen in my life. Okay, somebody handmade these and then they hand painted them, which is why I cannot wash them. But they're hand painted. Look at that. This one says Mommy. And it has this beautiful little painting of this lady. It's probably a stencil, I'm assuming, but maybe they freehanded it. And then this one says Daddy, and it has two little ducks. And they're like outlined in metallic silver paint. And if you unfold them, they look kind of like the size of a cloth napkin. But they're so precious. Like just the fact that somebody took the time to make this for, I assume, their mom and dad. Or maybe it was a woman who made them for her and her husband. I don't know, but it's just so sweet. And I'll probably just put them in a box, or I might frame them, or maybe if I ever have a place to hang them up in a kitchen, I'll hang them. I don't know. I just couldn't leave them there. They were $1 piece and I couldn't leave them there. And then I just got this like lace doily thing because you can always use these with the style that I go for in my house. You can always use these. They had a lot more vintage, excuse me, linens, but like I said, I had been shopping in there for way longer than I intended, and I needed to stop. We have this box, and I just think it's pretty. I just bought it purely because it's pretty. I can keep little trinkets in it. I can keep jewelry in it, or it could be a little button box. I don't know, but I thought it was really precious, so I bought that. It was only 95 cents. And then speaking of buttons, I got a bag of buttons. And they're so pretty. Like, it's so many like different unique buttons. there's a lot of like these little gold coin buttons. Let's see if I can get it to focus. It's not going to focus, but a lot of these little gold coin buttons. I actually bought a bracelet in this same thrift store that is made completely with the little gold buttons that look like coins. But there's so many pretty ones. And I don't know, some of these can be used for sewing projects. Some of these I might turn into jewelry. I might make a pair of earrings out of some of these bigger coin buttons to match my bracelet that I have. But they were only $1.95, and for all those buttons, I thought that was a pretty good deal. Then I got this little bookmark. It's just a little butterfly bookmark. I had one of these years ago when I was a little girl, and I don't know what happened to it. I think it broke. And so when I found that, I was excited. It was in the 50% off section. Then I got this necklace, and this necklace is just beautiful. I might put it on now. Cause yeah, it is gold or brass looking. So it's very, very pretty. It was $1.95. It has this beautiful like turquoise and white beads, but the showstopper is, please focus, is this flower. It's a pressed flower in resin, and it kind of matches what I have on. So I think I'm gonna put that on now, but it's just so pretty. I always check the jewelry section of my thrift store because I have found so many unique pieces in my thrift store's jewelry section. Like I said, I have gotten a bracelet with buttons. I've gotten brooches there before, different things. I'm trying to decide if that's too much for this outfit, but it's so pretty. So always check the jewelry section. You might also find some rings. I have found rings as well. Then I bought some cards, like some blank cards for my shop. There's some stuff coming with that soon, so be on the lookout for that. But I found this postcard, and I think it's just so cute. I think that is French, and it's just so pretty. I love it. I'm still on the fence as to whether I'm going to sell that one or not. I might keep it. And then I just got some blank note cards that are really pretty. The artwork on cards is so pretty. And I'm going to put these in the shop. I'm going to be changing my shop up a little bit. Kind of transitioning off of just homewares and kind of moving into something different. So be on the lookout for that. Then I got this basket. It's a very it's like a sturdy shaped basket. It's fabric lined. It's got these really cool handles on it. And the reason I bought this is because I'm going to put my books in it. I have a little stack somewhere, they're over there, of books, like my Bible, the book that I'm reading currently, and a fiction book that I want to finish at some point. And I'm going to put them in this because this basket will kind of hold them upright, and I can kind of carry my book basket around the house. So that's what that is for. And then I'm really hoping that she did not, there it is. Thought maybe she forgot to put it in the box. I got a Celtic Woman CD. I'm probably the last person on earth that still listens to CDs in my car, but everything on the radio is crap, and I don't have like a Bluetooth or an aux in my van, so I listen to CDs. I have a Dean Martin CD that I got at a thrift store, Annie Lennox, Enya, the Wailing Jennies. Most of these came from the thrift store. My dad actually got me the Wailing Jennies. Like I bought Enya at a thrift store. Annie Lennox, I got a great CD of Annie Lennox, like doing like really classic songs. And then a Dean Martin CD, and then Celtic Women. I've got a bunch of Christmas CDs. So I was really excited to find Celtic Woman in there because I was not really a Celtic Woman fan in their heyday, but as I've gotten older, that kind of music has kind of grown on me, and it's fun to listen to in the car. And it was only $1. So that's another tip for you. Look in your CD section of your thrift store, because I guarantee you they have lots of CDs, and they're probably all like $1 or 50 cents. These books that I'm going to show you in a minute. Last but not least, I got a lot of books. Some of these books I may keep, but I think the majority of them I'm going to resell. And I got some children's books and then some like crafting and recipe books. So the first book I'm going to show you is this. It's 8 Cousins by Louisa May Alcott. It's a very cute vintage edition of this book. Inside the very first page, it has the name written Melanie, and it says September 17th of 67. Let's see if I can find a copyright date on this. It does not have a copyright in it. Wait a minute, maybe. No, it does not have a copyright in it, but I think it's the cutest. I've got to scrape some of these stickers off. Then I got an edition of Charlotte's Web. And then I got a C.S. Lewis Prince Caspian. I liked the way this cover looked. And this is copyright 19... No. Well, it says copyright 1951, and then it has book edition 1970. So I'm going to assume it's a 1970s version of the book. And then as far as other children's books, I got Captain Courageous. I got a few of the Babysitter Club books, the original Babysitter Club books, not the Netflix series. These are the original books, and I loved the Babysitters Club when I was a kid. When I was a teenager, I loved the Babysitters Club so much. And I had so many of these books where they had babysitters in like the baby blocks, and it had this checked print on it. I bought a bunch at like a library book sale, and I don't know what happened to those. They might possibly be out in my storage building in a box of books that I have. I hope that they are. I might save these for Reese to read when she gets older because I loved these. And last up for the children's books, I have a couple of Disney books. Like these are like the old illustrated Disney books. I got Cinderella and then A Picnic in the Woods, which is a Mickey Mouse. Assume they're probably from the 60s or 70s, but I like the illustrations on them. Oh, and then I also got a Peter Rabbit. And then as far as like non-children's books, I got, this just makes me laugh. I don't know why, but it's a specific meat cookbook. Like, I don't know. I just think it's funny that they used to have cookbooks for like every little single specific thing. This is a Better Homes and Garden meat cookbook. And this is from the 70s, 1971, which you can totally tell from the artwork on the front. It says over 400 meat recipes, seafood, poultry, and meat salad. How to serve, prepare, store, and buy. And yeah, you can totally tell from the pictures that this was the 70s. And there is something so like just charming nostalgia about books from the 70s. But like some of this food does not look good. But just for the pure nostalgia's sake and the fact that it's vintage, and I'm sure there are some good recipes in here, but a lot of these look kind of gross. Like, let me see if I can find. Let's go to the meat salad. I bet they've got some horrendous looking things in the meat salad section. Yeah, like this. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Like, I don't know what kind of pizza has something like that. They've got garnish in the middle of the pizza. Like, I don't know. Some of this stuff looks kind of weird, but I think it's a cool book. And I'm sure it's got some helpful tips in it. Then I also got this book, which I think is really nice, and I'm really tempted to keep this book. It's called The Lady Had Seconds, Dazzling Desserts to Tempt Your Senses. And it has really pretty pictures in it, and it has lots of recipes for different desserts. Even the lady that was at the register when I was checking out this one, she's like, "Ooh, that looks like a nice cookbook." She started flipping through it and looking at all this stuff. But like, let's see what it says. It says teacup chocolate mousse, pistachio brittle, sweetheart buttercream cupcakes, peaches and cream ice cream, precious gem tarts, perfect in pink layer cake. It sounds like a lot of like really dainty, pretty desserts. Then I got this, which is knitting and crocheting. This is a Better Homes and Garden book from the 80s. And it has like all of these little tutorials for how you do different things. I'm really tempted to keep these craft books. My mom has a ton, like a plethora of books. I cannot read a book without saying, yeah, I'm reading this book. And she's like, oh, I read that. Or, oh, I have that book. If I buy a book, she's like, why did you buy that book? I have that book. My mom has every book ever made. But she has a lot of these like crafting, vintage like crafting books and sewing books and all this kinds of thing. And I really like that. She has a lot of decorating books. And this is like, I'm going off on a total tangent right now, but my mom has some of the Laura Ashley home design books from the 80s. I'm obsessed with the 80s Laura Ashley style. I'm assuming it's 80s because when I Google it in the 80s, that's the kind of thing that comes up. But the 80s Laura Ashley home style is so like that. If I had to pinpoint what my style is, it would be that. It's a lot of like, there's some like French country influences. There's a lot of florals. Like I look at this chair and I think Laura Ashley. Like that is the vibe that I get. And so if you look at a Laura Ashley home design book from the 80s, that is what I aspire to have my home look like. And so I don't know how I got off on all that. I don't know why I started talking about Laura Ashley. But my mom has a lot of Laura Ashley books, and I like to look through her collection. And if I ever find a Laura Ashley book, I'm keeping it because I have scoured the bookshelves at the thrift store for one, and I've never found one. But anyways, moving on. I did not mean to get off on that tangent, but moving on. This is Afghans, and it's all about making pretty Afghans. This is 1977, and it's got like, I hope y'all can see that, like all kinds of pretty Afghans. And I guess it's like a pattern. It gives you the information on it, like the needle that you need, because this is like knitting, I think. And then it tells you about embroidery and doing the different panels. So it's like got patterns in it, but I think that book is really neat. Then these two are painting books, flower painting. And I just love the pictures in this book. Let's see, I think it is kind of meant to teaches you about the different hues of colors. And I don't know, let's see. This is Horizons, and this is definitely more of a how-to kind of paint book. Like it has details on how to paint that specific scene. And I don't know, maybe you're supposed to make a copy of these or paint them in the book. I don't think so. I think you're supposed to just look at what maybe it is, because it's got full page pictures in here. So maybe you are supposed to make copies of it and paint it. But there are some color photos in here in the middle of these scenes that people have painted. I thought it was a really neat book. Then I've got another one on quilts and Afghans. And this one looks like it's probably from the 70s or 80s. Let's see. From McCall's Needlework and Craft, 1984. And like, oh my gosh, look at this room. That is a beautiful room. Like the pictures in this book. Like I don't really have time to learn to quilt, but the pictures of the rooms and the quilts are so pretty. Like just so beautiful and vintage. I just love it. Like I'm gonna have a hard time figuring out if I'm gonna sell these or keep these, to be honest with you. But yeah, so pretty. I might let my mom look through this one because she's learning to quilt. Look at that. Look at the insane detail on that. That's not even a quilt. That's like a fully crocheted to look like a quilt Afghan. That is insane. I am getting off on so many tangents right now, but I don't have my children today. So I'm just here by myself. So I'm just chatting y'all's ear off, so just never mind me. But oh, really pretty book. Oh, I'm causing an avalanche over here. And then I've got this one, Classic British Knits. This book, 50 traditional patterns from England, Scotland, and Ireland. So I think these are all sweater patterns. 1986. So you can really tell from these pictures that this was the 80s. But they're all sweaters, which is really neat. But it's showing you all these different knit sweaters, and like it's giving you the pattern, how to make it. Like that's so cute. This little sweater with the collar on it, that is so cute. This right here, this picture, that's very Laura Ashley. Very, very Laura Ashley. And like, I'm not gonna learn how to knit sweaters. Well, never say never, but that's not a skill that I'm gonna take up. But I think the pictures are beautiful, and I would definitely buy some of these sweaters if I saw them in a thrift store. So that's all my books. So that's it for my thrift haul. I did pretty good today. I also got a couple things for my sister, but I'm not gonna show you guys that. But yeah, I did pretty good today as far as the thrift store is concerned. And now it is time for me to put all this away and to get my butt in gear and start cleaning my house while my kids are gone. Okay, I meant to film a little bit more of the rest of the day than I did, but I got caught up doing stuff. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to go ahead and end the vlog here because I'm getting ready to go to church. So if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe for more videos, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.